This is the Bar Stewards Enquiry.
Right? You're talking absolute rubbish. Absolute rubbish.
In what way?
You were an underachiever in life. I saved your bacon one time. You were gone.
You handled that well. I couldn't save you. But you did the right thing.
But that's why you don't know anything about racing, John.
I didn't say I do.
Right?
I'm saying that...
What have you contributed to racing? You're one of these take-out merchants. Take out all you can.
Hello, and a very warm welcome to the Bar Stewards Enquiry Weekend Podcast. Yes, we have rolled out the originals tonight. Yes, it's Bananarara and the Fun Boy 3 back together for the Cheltenham Open Meeting preview. Yes, good evening. It's myself, John, and Cathryn Fry. Good evening,
Good
chaps.
evening.
Yes.
Good evening.
You know, I'm so happy the old gang's back together. It's like Richard and Jody coming back on this morning, or say they revitalise that Alan Freeman Brentford Nylons advert from the 70s, or maybe.
I was like, do you remember Good Morning with Nick and Ann Diamond?
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of the Glitter Band making a comeback.
In them days, Cathryn, with GMB, what a lineup. You got Rusty Lee laughing a bollocks off of a pan of eggs and chips.
Then you get Mad Lizzie as well, didn't they?
Mad Lizzie.
No,
Wincy Willie on weather, and then you get Roland Rat and Kevin the Gerbil.
Oh, I love Roland Rat, yeah. Amazing.
What days? Young'uns these days, they've just never been
Oh,
born.
I don't know the born.
Nah.
Yeah, all on the phones and that, you know. I'm glad that I grew up late 70s and the 80s, you know.
Quite fancied Ann Diamond when she was on Good Morning Brit.
How did you?
Yeah, bit of a crush.
So did Patrick Duffy. I think them two had a bit of a thing going on.
Patrick Duffy of Dallas.
Yeah, every time Patrick Duffy appeared on the sofa, she sort of like went all completely giddy.
Like when Paula Yates and Michael Hutchinson.
Yeah. So, similar to that. Great. It was.
Yeah, that's because he tried to fuck her on the big breakfast bed, didn't he?
with Zig and Zag watching.
Director shouting, cut.
Anyway.
They made Zig and Zag watch as well. They didn't want to, but they made them watch.
It is fantastic that we're back together once again, and hopefully there'll be more of this. But obviously Cathryn has took a while out because she's getting over Alfie May being transferred from Whaddon Road to Charlton.
Terrible, isn't it? Terrible.
That's grim. Without further ado, we'll go on to the best bets round, and this is where, if you've not listened before, it's 1, 2, 3 points. It's our best bets for the weekend, and I'm sure that we may have some Saturday and Sunday selections. Cheltenham goes over the 2 days. Right. Okay, 1 point round. Jonas, you can kick us off because you're busting for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Loves it.
Can't wait. It's straight to the end of proceedings, actually, the 5:30 at Wolves.
You disgrace.
Want to win the Naps table again for the sticks. So confining my selections to the first. Incremental. There's like 3 in this at the top of the ratings. This is the only one where you could be sure the graph's heading in the right direction, I think. Bullings was quite disappointing for me last time. They're reaching for the mutton chops for the one-time promising Lord Melbourne. So, this incremental, Gosden had it originally, and they had it in the Dante. And then after not doing a lot wrong, it was bought out of Gosden's at the July sale. They got shot pretty quick. But Michael Bell hadn't rushed the horse. He only made his debut for Bell last month. I thought he shaped all right. He's entitled to come on for it, and he's already right in the mix with the form he's got in the bank. So, quite hopeful. 1 point win.
No prices at the moment, John, for your selections. Obviously, it's time of recording, but what we'll do, we'll give you a fair price, 2 rule books and all that.
Yeah. 7.
When the betting comes out, I'll get the producer on the case, and she will give you a very fair price. In fact, we've not done any anti-post betting this year on the Winter Naps table, so that shows our enthusiasm. Onto my selection.
I'm 28 to 1 if anybody fancies a nibble, but I wouldn't recommend it.
My selection goes tomorrow at Cheltenham. It's a horse that I'm a bit disappointed at the way it's been campaigned, because I like to make money out of the game. And Broadway Boy is in my 5 to follow for this season. And I'm breaking rules again that Cathryn keeps teaching me on jumps, opposing the Irish. Don't go with Twiston Davis's shit, etc., etc. I'm breaking rules all the time, and this is probably my undoing. I was so taken by Broadway Boy at Worcester that I bet him to beat Flooring Porter. Flooring Porter was just too good, but I don't think there's any shame in. I think the market's just going to bed with probably some overnight rain for good risk at all. I think he is a chaser of some promise, but he did jump a bit sketchy, I felt, at Collar, a bit big, and maybe he'll come on for that, but it's one of them. I think Broadway Boy, had he been in a handicap of 100, Novices handicap of 137 in some kind of race, I'd be all over him. But you might have to run to sort of early 140s, mid 140s to win this. But he is £5 better off for beating the Twiston Davis stablemate, who me and John were both disappointed with.
Very disappointed.
We've all been
It's
caught.
depressing the shit out of us, that ass, isn't it?
To me, he's in the wrong stable.
Yeah, I know, Cathryn. Like, I knew you coming on, and I thought, oh fucking hell, I've got a tip of Twister horse, and she's gonna say, what an idiot.
It's not massively, like, I'm not totally against, because obviously he does excel with some type of horses. I think we've all been caught as a big, slow old boat that obviously has issues, but does have talent. But I don't think he's going to get anywhere in that stable.
The other angle in the race is Mr. Doggy as second favourite and Nika. Honestly, that's if you think that Twister's bad, this is a big empty vest. Mr. Doggy always comes there full of run and always just goes. Ugh.
Nico as well.
So I thought Broadway Boy, look, 11-2. We bet Victor Coral and Ladbrokes. I thought that was fair game, fair value.
I'm not going to put you off on that, because I actually thought he did really well against Flooring Porter, considering what Flooring Porter is and about. I was actually quite impressed with him, and I thought, because when I read your 5 to follow, I was like, is he gone mad? And then when I watched that, I thought, okay, I get it now. Yeah.
well, the thing is, he was the first one to mix it with Flooring Porter when they turned the taps on, when they really turned the taps on. I was quite surprised, and he fluffed the last, and I was quite surprised at how well he did keep on, despite having to mix it with obviously a very highly rated Stein Erdler, on chasing debuts. So I just thought there was merit in that, and it was a better race, obviously, than Good Risk at all in round Carlisle or wherever.
Yeah.
I just think that's the value. But look, I'm not going to be surprised if Good Risk all wins, but I think 11-2's value. So 1 point win for me. Cathryn.
Okay, my 1 point win is going to be on Sunday, and it's going to be in that race that seems to drag on for ages and ages. The 220, the 3 mile 3. So we could be here a while.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with, purely because the stable's in form. I'm going to go, and a couple of other reasons, which I'll get to. Rose of Arcadia, Joe Tizard, Brendan Powell. I was there when she was third at Cheltenham in April, and it was literally, I think it was the ground that was her unknown. She really likes to get her foot in a bit. She's come out, she's won over the trip on heavy. We're due to get more rain. It's going to rain tomorrow, and so I think where we are with the ground here at the moment, our water table is right back up to as it was before last year's incredible heat wave.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to take much to turn Cheltenham soft or even heavy, to be honest. I think we're on that tipping point. Obviously, I'm amazed that it went good to soft because of the amount of rain that we've had over the last couple of weeks. It's just been incredible. Like, I'm quite lucky where I'm close to town, but I'm on a hill, and sort of once I get to the bottom of that hill, I was quite amazed at the amount of standing water that was lying around in town. And when it's like that, I know there's a lot underneath Cheltenham, and I just fancy her on that. She'll go the distance. She'll love the ground, and the stable's in form. And I think 11-1's an all right price, so she's going to be my 1 point win.
It is 11-1 with Sky Bet and Hills, and interesting, Cathryn, today the times at Cheltenham were pretty slow.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I've seen Cheltenham ride dangerously quick sometimes, where they
Yes.
125, 130 hurdlers, like, you know, running close to standard. And that's when you know that, like you've said to me in the past, when you've walked the course, you've got, it's gonna be quick. They're saying good to soft in places, but there's no good to soft in that. And you know, when they've had droughts and you've had no rain, but it's interesting what you're saying about the water table, etc. So punters, listen to that, and hopefully you can use that to your advantage if the rain comes in the morning, potentially forecast that could, as Cathryn says, could send this quite testing.
Yeah, well, I mean, I remember this meeting, what must have been pre-COVID actually. Must have been 2019, and you know, it started off good soft as they always say it is, and then I think Paul Townend won the second, and I interviewed him and I said, what like Paul, like, you know, what would you say the ground is? And he said heavy. And I mean, you know what the ground in Ireland is like. Do you know what I mean? And I thought, yeah, okay, it is. You know, I think I don't know. To me, we're back. What I would say, really, for the last few winters, apart from last winter, what you would have seen, and you know, sort of Cheltenham don't like to use the heavy word, do they?
No, they don't actually. No, and you know, there was a bit of value coming wide today, a little bit.
But yeah,
American Sniper today of the Corpse Pipe Yard doing the business. You're right round the wide outside. That could be interesting. Also, bear that in mind that Cheltenham sometimes does favour the old stand side when it gets very testing. Right. Okay, 2-point round. I'll kick us off. We're going to Leaf 8, and I'm not cheating like John because this is on telly box. So it's a telly box race.
it is.
This is a good race. John, I'm with John. I know you like this one because you've said to me this year that this horse is running better than ever. Regal Reality of the Baron, and Kingscote. Now, let's dissect this, because the way he's been running this season, I'm amazed he's not shorter than 9-4. I think it's a bit of an insult, if I'm honest, that he's not shorter than 9-4, because the level of the runs, I mean, look, he's running Group 3, Group 3, Group 3, Group 3, Group 2. The run last time, he frightened the life out of the one that loves HQ with the easy lead, Mutasabek.
Yeah.
He reversed the form with Chindit, but again, even though Chindit's a bit of a equine wanker, it's still a decent horse, say at listed level. So, like, then you've got Epictetus in 4th, Maldoom in 5th, Mighty Ulysses filled the last place. That's a run that says to me 11-08 chance, John.
I'd agree. He's been an excellent Nick this year. He really has.
Yeah.
Had him right.
Because I read John's notes, subscribe on Patreon for £7. You get all John's notes, and John's notes go in my tracker. And John said, I think a while ago, said he's in better nick than he's ever been this year. So yeah, I see nothing. Age is no barrier.
He's still quite lightly raced, really.
Yeah, it's not like he's had like 48 starts. And
he's not Richard training him. I mean, he's missed plenty of dances, hasn't he?
And Richard Kingscote does get on quite well with him. It's not a case of like it's got to have Brian Moore in saddle. So Regal Reality is 2 points on the nose at 9-4 to kick us off to win that race at Lingfield tomorrow. Cathryn, I'm going to swing it straight back round to you.
Okay. This is. I'm caught between two here, but I think you've already spoke. I'm going to go with the amateur race, second on the card tomorrow. Tony Martin, Read to Return. Looks, I mean, you've got the jockey, but I don't know his first name, but Mr. B.M. Coonan. I'm sure somebody listening to this will put me straight on his name.
Brian.
He's taking £7 off. Bernard. He's taking £7 off.
Boris.
Like 10-4. Like the ground's not going to bother him at all. I don't know. You just look at it, and I know I might be sort of regressing back in time to the late 90s and early 2000s, but to me, this just looks like a typical Tony Martin job. He's obviously got them in good order. Do you see the one that came there today in the last?
Oh yeah.
And then fluffed the last. Yeah. I backed him, of course. Was there seeing pound signs, thinking, "God, you'll get Nico up the straight." But yeah, he's won last time out at Killarney, start of October. I don't know. It's just got It's just got Tony Martin written all over it. Look, he had a festival winner last year. This year even. He's but he's back. Tony Martin is back, and this looks like a typical Tony Martin job to me. So I'm going to put my 2-pointer on that, please.
Lovely. And generally available, that's 13-2 with Boris Coonan in the in the saddle.
Might be Basil.
Yeah.
Basil.
Could be
Basil. It's not a very Irish name, though, is it, Basil?
Bruff, like Bruff Scott. Bruff Coonan.
Could be Bruff. Yeah. Anybody. I mean, Mr. Coonan, if you're listening to this,
Glaze right in.
Please tweet us your name.
Mr. BM. Good selection, Cathryn. The Tony Martin bandwagon. She's fancying to roll on in the 1:10 tomorrow. Rita return. Jonas?
Newcastle is an extra meeting on Sunday. Thank God.
Fucking hell.
He's terrible.
128. Very clever. Right. Now, I had a smart word for this last time out on Handicap Debut on Tuesday this week. I didn't particularly fancy it, to be honest. I thought, looks plotted up, but I don't know. Wasn't entirely happy with the sauce. Thought, no, I'm going to leave it. Then it should have won. Suffered major interference. This mile will suit absolutely fine, as will the straight track. The only concern might be Bradman, who I don't think's been off yet. Just with money for that one, that'd be interesting. But apart from that, I think most of these are covered. 2 points win.
Are you going early price or Betfair SP?
I'll go early price. I'll leave it in your hands, Lee. Knowing I'll get a good deal.
Interesting, this one, because let's spoil it for Quentin Franks. He's a disgrace. Quentin Franks likes this one as well, John. So, yeah. So I'm glad you've tipped it. That'll stick it right up him when he wants a bet on it. Anyway, yeah. So very clever. I can tell you for a fact, Quentin also likes this one. So John, 2 points on the nose on Sunday. You're a disgrace, dude.
I'm writing it down so when I've done my bollocks at Cheltenham, I can go on.
Exactly.
You can get it back before then. Don't worry.
Provides punter respite. Good stuff. So that's round 2 complete. Now, this is the tricksy round. This is our best bets for the weekend. So, John, you're in good voice. So you can start us off with the big 3-pointer, the Michael Jordan.
Can I just make a bit of an announcement to the Fry fanboys out there as well, actually? He briefly left the camera on as she came into the studio tonight. And
I didn't see that.
She's made a hell of an effort, to be honest. Honestly, if we can get a pic for the 2024 Fry calendar, she's looking like a young Annette Crosby.
Brilliant.
I'm actually gutted I didn't see this.
You got to be early.
You have to be sharp in this game, don't you? Yeah.
I've done my hair actually.
Well, yeah. Young Annette Crosby before Victor Meldrew got his hands on her. Right, the 3-pointer, without further ado. 6:30 Wolves. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm pretty confident on this, to be honest. Berrygate. Made debut at Newcastle. Badly away. And looked as though everything was happening too quick in the early stages. Didn't really look like figuring at all, turning in. Once the penny dropped, she ran on like an absolute Trojan. The 7th furlong here looks sure to help, as does the one box, with key rivals drawn a fair bit wider. I think they'll have a lovely sit in this. And I really can't see this getting beat, to be honest. 3 points win.
Again, no prices, John, so the fair rule book applies.
Of course.
When they open up, later.
I'll look forward to the tips on.
But 3 on the nose from Berrygate for John. Terrible you not tipping an open meeting bet.
It's
terrible.
Absolute disgrace. You're not going in the spirit of things, John.
I get in the spirit of things around Christmas time.
Oh, yeah, you really do.
Cheltenham membership for John.
Exactly. It's a disgrace. Promoting the sport, John. We're just promote the sport. And you're tipping at Wolves.
I wasn't there today, but apparently at the racecourse, at any racecourse outlet, you can't use cash at all. And you can't use a credit card. It has to be a debit card.
I read into that. It wasn't totally true, but it was sort of true for certain things. if you want to buy a race card, they wouldn't let you pay with a credit card or cash. It's really weird. And what's upset the Hooray Henrys today, big time, all the teeth's been chopping.
The parking.
Is
it the parking?
Yeah, fucking hell. Not allowed in the middle of the fucking course.
No, that's really odd, actually, because that's been... I'm gutted that they've stopped that, because that is just sometimes the most peaceful place to be, where you can actually really concentrate on the race.
For jumps racing fans, I think that's probably... It stood next to a fence in the middle or stood in a section.
Yeah.
Is exhilarating. You know, like watching them, like watching them close up, and it's for youngsters as well to see it like close up.
Spent my formative years in the centre of that course. I don't go over to watch the cross country, but what I used to do is, obviously, like the first 2 days of the festival that are on the old course, you're right up against it. And it's amazing. Like the memories I've got of watching brilliant horses up close. And like, obviously, before health and safety, I'm talking like, back in the 80s when I was tiny. Well, I'm still tiny, but I was tinier.
Were you the one that put Tide Cottage off when he fell at the last?
Fucking hell, I was 3 years old.
You could have run across.
It is a bit of a weird why they've stopped that, but I can only think that out there are no retail outlets, and they just want everyone spending, because I can't see any other reason for it.
Do you know what? I've not thought of that angle. That's a really good angle I've not thought of, because I'm trying to get my head around it as to why they do that.
He grew up going out in the centre of the course. It's always been... It's also quite nice to get to walk right over to one of the fences, like right sort of like on the turn of the hill at the top, like on the festival, and sort of just get away from the crowds for a bit and stand right next. So it's not called the RSA anymore. What is it? The Brown Advisory now. But certainly that, if you go up, like go right up close to one of the fence at the back, and it could be just you and like a handful of people out there. It's a really nice experience if you like watching really good horses jump, and it is a bit of a shame. But I thought you were going to talk about the parking, because they've fucked up the parking so badly.
In what?
It's all right for me, I can walk, but...
In what way?
So basically, members used to be able to use the front car park, which is a decent amount of space. Nobody can use the front car park now, because it's all taken up for race buses and taxis. So I don't really understand, because the taxi area has always been by ticket collection, left luggage, and that's worked fine for the last... as long as I remember it. And race buses have always like taken the front bit, but there was always like plenty of room to park like behind them. For people that are coming in from the side of town that I live in, coming off the A40, things like that, coming in from... that is the easiest place to park and get out. And it's also because you actually come out onto a main A road. Come out onto two main... You've got options to come out onto two main A roads. Now, what they've done now is they're sending about 20,000 cars out the back that comes out on a fucking country lane.
That is mental, isn't it?
And I mean, it's a country lane. It's called Southam Lane. And then there's Kate Lane and Southam Lane. And I mean, I just thought, well, it's all right for me. I can walk, but I can see why people are pissed off about it.
It's like, oh yeah, I'm going in a chopper.
Right, and according to Cheltenham, they've also said that this is a decision that's not going to be reversed either.
Yeah.
So
totally bizarre. I mean, I get that the race bus service is decent for this meeting and for the festival. I can't deny that. It's like a £5 return, and like from the station in town, grand. But there are people that have to drive.
Yeah.
I had to park out, not the festival, just gone festival before. I had to park out the back because there was no room left on the front. I thought, fuck me, I might as well have walked, but had all my kit with me, laptop and microphones and all that. And it took me 2 hours to get home. A walk that from that point, I probably could have done it half an hour.
Yeah.
At one point, if it hadn't have been dark, I'd have just left the car and fucking walked.
I can remember one festival, we went to watch Coos Horse in the Supreme Novice Hurdle, and I think Marsh Warbler. The disgraceful Dan Gilbert. What a disgraceful man he is. Wants to win the Greatwood and all that lot. And I think he's done it, hasn't he? I think he has.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
has.
he has,
Yeah.
The disgraceful Dan Gilbert were in the pub beforehand. Me and Coo got a bit of timber. You know what it's like, a bit of timber carrying. And he says, it's not far. It's not far. No. Foot getting on,
God.
but a nice 2 mile walk
Brilliant.
to the track. And me and Coo turns up like sweating, like Dan Gilbert's like a pipe cleaner.
He
Like
walks
his
fast
legs.
as well, Dan, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
yeah. Oh, he does. Yeah, you have to walk at Dan's pace as well. And I said to Coo, I says, "Fucking hell!" I says, "Can he slow down?" But no, he was on a march. We got to the track. What's up with you guys? And like me and him are like puffing away, like keeping up. That was a terrible experience because I had to sit outside on a park bench for 45 minutes before I could go in a bar. I was drenched at Dan Gilbert's pace. I mean, if you see Dan Gilbert, he's a wiry fella.
That's not the same year that you had the toilet explosion.
It is actually, yeah. It wasn't a great experience really, because then, like you say, then we're going to hospitality, and I started supping, and I had this shit buffet thing they put on, and that was it. And I felt this
Rumble in the jungle.
Yeah, it was proper bad, and I thought, well, I can't.
Brilliant.
And then you see the public bogs, you can't queue up in that, so you end up going to the £5 Superloos. And then the poor bloke that went in after me, and I said to him, I said, "You've had some bad luck there." It's not your lucky day.
I'll just say for listeners that haven't actually seen Dan, he's built along similar lines to Reese Mogg, isn't he?
He's very wiry.
Without the propensity to really concern orphanage managers, obviously.
How did we get from moaning people to once again Lee shitting himself?
Because this is what we
never
do.
far from the surface, is it?
We do this on Sundays. This is what makes the pods. Honestly, it's weird. This is not scripted. It just goes that way.
Brilliant.
Right, Cathryn, your 3-pointer, please.
Okay, well, I was going to put up Angel's Breath as my 3-pointer, but because I'm trying to like get ahead early in this tipping game, I keep coming back to a horse in the 3-mile hurdle, the Paddy Power Games handicap hurdle, to give it its precise title, and that is horse of Porrick Roach, Walking on Glass. Aidan Kelly rides, takes the 5 off. The reason why he's caught my eye, why he's come over here, is because he won't mind the incoming rain. He was buried in, when they like to bury one in a really good race.
Yeah.
Joseph O'Brien's very good at doing like Bustleton. Remember, he like buried him in loads of grade ones, and then sort of lo and behold, he turned into a top level handicapper. So Walking on Glass, I noticed him, buried him in the He Will Be Remembered hurdle at Turlers. And so he finishes 36 lengths behind Beacon Edge and Cashback and Aspire Tower and all that. But he wasn't asked any questions at all. I just find him really interesting. And he's at the moment, he's 22-1. And I keep coming back.
28's for you.
Superb. Then sod it. Fuck it. Let's throw it in.
So Bet Victor, Coral, Ladbrokes.
If that wins, she'll go back into hiding until a fortnight before the says, won't she?
Fry, do you want the insurance for the unlucky loser? Do you want the 4 pegs for 1.5 each way?
Yeah, go on.
Because you still make plenty, don't you?
I just can't. I've been looking at this race all day, and I keep coming back. Keep coming back to him.
I like the case, and Fry has definitely steered me on jumps racing, but I don't seem to follow her advice for some reason, and it's bizarre because she's often right. We certain jockeys.
I'd get a stay off of it. She refuses to talk to me on any level. She won't engage in the
but the last time.
Yeah.
The last time, John, you were talking to me, you said that you were going swimming and you needed me to lifeguard you.
That was it, yeah.
Good God.
I'm not the best swimmer. I think you'd have had to straddle me and give me mouth to mouth at some.
We don't do that.
No,
That's a good one.
It's all finished all that now, isn't it? You can't do that.
You just have to stand there and watch them expire.
Now you get proper masks and stuff now, like that you carry around. So on my work keys, I'll have it on my work keys, proper like CPR mask and that.
Yeah.
That's a leather one with a zip. That's no you.
Fucking hell, if you're having trouble breathing, you wouldn't want that on, would you?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Like Lutchins, orange in the job, and there you go.
Let's get this round finish.
Fucking
Finally,
hell.
1:45 Sunday is the Cavani.co.uk limited handicap chase for novices. I'm breaking another fry rule. I'm tipping a
Oh,
pumpkin horse in this 9-2 with BetMGM and BetUK. Ginny's Destiny is the very confident selection. I am certain this will go off around the 9-4, 5-2 mark. It's a badly named horse because Ginny is Ginny Weasley, who's a female in Harry Potter, and so you just think this is a female. It's not. It's a gelding. So whoever's named this, they're all idiots. It was trained by an idiot in Tom Lacey prior to transferring to Pumpkin, and
second run for Pumpkin, isn't it?
second run for Pumpkin. They've all needed a run. This went bananas with another one from far out. You can ignore the first run. This will be the real deal. Remember, if the rain falls, which is sort of our forecast, this horse has got previous in testing ground when it won the. No, it didn't win. It was second actually in a war of attrition in Leamington when it was second to Grey Dawning. That was a war of attrition. And then it clearly bottomed the horse because it just ran no sort of race next time. And I just think this horse is ready to explode and improve into ratings that we thought never were imaginable. So Ginny's Destiny for me, I am very confident. 9-2, a terrific price. 3 points on the nose to finish the best bets round.
Fabulous.
Right, TV races. We can swiftly go. We'll go to the 1:45 from the Horse's Mouth podcast. I've tipped one up here in Broadway Boy. Fry, John, I'd like your thoughts on this.
Ladies first.
You know I'm going to go with Good Risk at All.
Yeah.
Obviously, Stable had their problems last year. They've come back with a bang. One concern with him is I'm not sure that he's a true 3-miler. That would be my concern. He could be, but I'm not. Especially like he'll go in the ground, but if it did turn heavy, not sure that he is a true 3-miler. I hope he is. But he will be my bet in that race. I can see Alaphilippe. I can see old Paddy doing the round the outside trick if it does turn up soft tomorrow. But yeah, Good Risk at All. I was pleased to see him win at Carlisle because obviously his form tailed off last season, but there was a reason for that, so he put line through that. And yeah, I know he was a bit novice at Carlisle, but I thought in the main he jumped all right.
Yep, more in the better as well. Jonas?
Yeah, I'm sadly with Cathryn, really. I tend to think.
Well, you fucking would do, wouldn't you?
Well, you know, I tend to think this Good Risk at All. I mean, I don't think he's totally devoid of problems. There's things about his record that suggest he's a Darren Anderton in the making. But
brilliant.
I quite like the fact that Sam's jumped on him rather than anything trained by his old man as well. So, yeah, I'll go with that.
Fair enough, you pair of bastards. Right, 2:20 is the Paddy Power Gold Cup handicap chase. And Cathryn Fry wrote a nice preview on that on Patreon. Patreon members, £7, folks, a month. Have you not got £7? The begging balls are out here. Come on, guys. Anyway, Cathryn,
You can get the Fry calendar for £39.99.
I'm going to say we're going to launch a Fry calendar. Angel's Breath, Cathryn, is your selection, I believe, for the race. What's your danger?
My danger is the final orders.
Yeah, Cromwell.
Yeah.
You love the Danny Gilligan.
Love the Danny Gilligan. He did a fine job today, didn't he? On
the tongue strap comes on. This could be the day.
We love a tongue strap.
This. Do you say that to Venetia?
Yeah. Leave the boots on.
Yeah.
The Komodo.
They once talked about this horse as an Arkle prospect.
Yeah.
Tongue strap on. Danny Gilligan on board. 22-1. That's the danger.
Yeah.
Why I like Angel's Breath is I actually thought when he was first with Popeye, I actually thought that he was going to be like a superstar, and then obviously he had his problems. The first one he had for Sam Thomas back end of last season, you put a line through that, stable was out of form. I thought he ran an absolute cracker when it wasn't fully wound up in the hurdle at the last meeting at Cheltenham. One concern would be, and obviously I knew Sam would ride the real whacker. I really wanted Charlie Deutsch on him. That's my concern, but obviously Jonathan Burke won the race last year. But yeah, I mean, he is my main, but I have to stick with him. But yeah, the danger is his young Danny.
Jonas.
Spent 10 minutes longer on this than I did watching the coronation earlier this year.
Brilliant.
It's that tricky second album time for the Rail Whacker, isn't it, now this year?
Difficult second album.
I'm guessing it might be like when Alanis Morissette brought Supposed Trauma Infatuation Junkie out as a follow-up to Jagged Little Pill. So he's getting a line through. Stage Star goes pretty well fresh, but priced about right. Fugitive starts the season with the mutton chop supplied so he can fuck off. Highly Progressive, I thought, last year. Not long till May. Returns to his best trip after a nice sight-run debut at the last meeting. I'd done a little bit each way on him, I think.
Yeah.
And of course, by former Nottingham Forest player, Alan Rogers. This is interesting. It's an interesting story with Not Long Till May, because Alan Rogers seemed to get this off a really nice mark. 120. So obviously an horse with ability. Now it's 152, £32 in a season. Lovely. Alan Rogers.
Highly Progressive.
Yeah, exactly that, John. We shall move on to the 255, which is the Paddy Power Games handicap hurdle, where Fry is in the house on this one.
Walking on glass.
For Padre Groch, with Aidan Kelly in the saddle at a rather large price.
Is Padre Groch a bit campy?
Why?
I shouldn't think so.
Why?
It's just the impression there. It sounded very camp when you said
Who knows? I might have another side. This is what it is. The old Dale Winton effect, as scientists refer it to.
Are you being served?
And people used to Captain Peacock one that they thought were.
Oh, yeah.
Not the other one. John, who was the other one?
John Inman.
John Inman.
Humphreys.
Yeah.
Mr. Humphreys.
Yeah.
He was free, wasn't he?
I have no opinion in this, barring, I'll be really boring here and just say, look, if you fancy judicial law, you may as well wait to back it at 33s in running, because he comes off the bridle badly.
Yeah, he does.
Badly. 30-2 is a waste of time to anyone.
You know, Pipe's got the one having the first run for him from France.
Yeah, Plasnet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have looked at this, right, in terms of, it looked a decent chase of this, but an 124 might just slightly underestimate those. But you're going on chase form, French chase form rather than hurdles form. Definitely not as good over hurdles. So it's one of them. But then you look at, I don't know, he could be interested, that, actually. I don't know. It's hard to work out, because chase to hurdle form, French form to corpse pipe.
He's not corpsing at the moment, though, is he?
Well, not really, but I'm probably a bit harsh. It's just like in recent years.
Look at the resurgence of Mouse.
Yeah.
Did you hear that interview today? It was absolute class, where she says to him, "Oh, Mouse, what do you think the improvement's been?" And he goes, If I knew that, I'd have 150 of them. And I thought, that's a hilarious question.
Yeah. There's another thing as well, like Neil King was on the other week at the past Cheltenham meeting. Look away one. What was like interesting for me was he said, "Oh, like all my horses were under a cloud last year. It was like we couldn't figure out what was wrong with them." So then I started backing Neil King, and he said, "We've got them right now." So I started backing Neil King's. They still don't have any winners. It's like, well, I got Look Away one, obviously, and then I'm starting thinking, oh, that's interesting. They've all had the lurg last year. So I punted 2 or 3 recently. I think just on the back of that, they ran like shit. So it just shows you trainers are total absolute rubbish.
Trainers are full of shit.
Yeah. Right. So, John, any view on this race?
Chantry House is going to put about as much effort in as Suella Braverman's put into her last week's work.
He's not the most.
Oh, yeah.
I thought if you had to have a bet, possibly Mocha Devassi. Still a bit lightly raced, only 5, running against a bunch of jaded shithouses. Bit of room for improvement still. You know, they haven't applied any ridiculous equipment. That one would probably go for me. That's a push.
We've gone to the 3:30, the final television race on Saturday. Springwell Bay of John Joe's likely to go off favourite in this. I got no view here. Cathryn, did you have a view here?
Yeah, slight view. I wouldn't see the I think the price now reflects more about the stable being in form rather than what the horse has actually achieved. But I mean, how the hell do you say it? Gwen, yeah,
Guyaniami.
that one, number 5.
That sounds
Um,
right.
I thought I had it earlier. Gwenyam, whatever,
Yeah.
fuck it. When when he ran the last day at Wincanton, he made a Horlicks at last, but it didn't stop his momentum. I know he's his second season with Tizzard. He came off the flat, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the way things are running for them, he could possibly win. That's reflected in the price. Horse that wouldn't put you off at all, that gets all the gear on for the first time, is another choice of Matthew Smith's. Son rides it. He's currently around the 22-1 mark. I don't have a strong view on the race, and I don't think I'll be having a bet in it, but that would be my that's my and again, as John calls it, a load of shit houses. Yeah.
I found this a tough race to crack, if I'm honest. I really did. This is a race that can you crack? I really struggle with this. So, John, I'm interested to see what you think.
I thought Resplendent Grey didn't do a lot wrong on debut and ought to go close. That was my feeling there.
Resplendent Grey, yeah, the Ollie Murphy trick, yeah. At least like this knows how to win, at least, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could be one for the old shit English. The lack of Irish action in this, maybe. You've got the McNamara.
But Eric Mack's horse is all right. Like London Office Calling, he's all right.
Yeah.
Coats in there off 10 too.
Yeah.
Like.
Has Matthew Smith lost the juice?
I think he's lost the juice. I don't know. He has ins and outs, doesn't he, Matthew Smith? Maybe like intermittent juice. I don't know.
Yeah, intermittent juice. I like that. We move on to Sunday because obviously ITV are covering Cheltenham on the Sunday as well, which is nice.
Nice of them.
Yeah, good exposure for the sport. Obviously, the 145 on Sunday I've already covered with my selection in the pumpkin train, Ginny's Destiny. So, Fry, I want to know what you think on them.
Yeah, you get where you're going on Ginny Weasley for pumpkin. Wonderwall's interesting after his wind up. He's had a nice little blowout on the flat as well, not so long ago. James Bowen, you know I'm a big fan of James Bowen. The one that I do quite like is, there's no surprise, an Irish horse, Cole Murphy, Sean Bowen on board. I was a big fan of the Bowen brothers. El Perfecta.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll have a bet. It depends on how tomorrow goes. But she ran very well at Galway in a Grade 3. With Huckle de Soy and Ballyadam and all that, and the one that was the Kenny Alexander horse, Tax for Max, all that lot. She ran really well in that, and I'll just see what price she is on the day. But if I stick to one, I'd say her probably.
Fair play. That's for Sean Bowen in the plate. John, any view in this?
Yeah, Es Perfecto of Alan King's. I've been waiting to see this go over fences with the same sort of anticipation I had for when Marlene Class was in I'm a Celebrity and she was going to have a shower. He's kind of wasted 2 years with this, I think. Messing about already.
Brilliant.
I think this wants a fence. And I'd expect this to run well, eh?
Alan King and Brendan Powell for John.
Yeah.
Don't you wish? Okay, I know I always say this, but it is my absolute wish that, like, for a day, the Racing Post would let John do the spotlights. I'd actually buy it and cry with laughter.
Yeah, the shock and awe amongst the... we even get it as bastards. You know, people say, can you turn it down a bit? It's like... Can you just imagine?
Oh, yeah, didn't you get told off for dropping the C-bomb?
Yeah, well, to be honest, that's the most common male complaint, anyway, that I get in terms of the show, both on Friday and Sunday. I've had some funny ones where it said, look, guys, I love your show, but it's hard to play it when missus and kids are sat in the living room. True, fair enough. It probably resorts to why most people play it in the cars on the way to work.
Yeah.
to go on them spot.
Yeah.
I listen to the Sunday sermon at my desk at work on Monday, but I have my headphones in.
Oh yeah, he is. I agree.
But I sat there laughing my head.
I understand. I've tried to be sort of like sympathetic to complaints, but
Yeah, but I'm sure on at least 3 occasions I've dropped the C-bomb
yeah,
on bar stewards.
yeah. There's the old "see you next Tuesday." Who doesn't like that one when you're ranting? It's the greatest word ever. It's a bad word,
Absolutely.
but it's the greatest word when you're ranting. The 220 Cheltenham is the 3 mile, 3 furlongs. Fry wants a lasting pain when she's got to wait 9 minutes or so for the result. Hang on, have they finished yet? She's a glutton for punishment, loves the old tie-up job, John. John, have you any opinion on this?
Anybody that's a glutton for pain should cut off with me. It only lasts 4 minutes, but it's called a glutton for pain. Yeah, I did think the paper horse First Lord the Hewitt, is it?
Talking of the C-bomb.
Yeah, it's not far off, is it? It's
I love that. First Lord de Hewitt.
Yeah.
If that's not a northern translation, I'll stand angry. It'd be First Lord de Hewitt.
Barter's trying to pronounce that one in commentary.
Yeah, I just think this one probably indicating that last year it could have done with the wind up, and first time after a wind up. I'm not a big fan of tying the mutton chops, obviously, but wind up, catching fresh, might be the time,
John, you got the full house here. You've got the wind up, the tongue tie, and the pieces. The very thing that you said, I'm sick of backing fat, airy beasts.
There's no eye shields, though, is there? I mean, come on.
There is a lurker. There is a lurker in here.
Go on, Cathryn.
Caelan Quinn riding for David. Big fan of Caelan Quinn. I only back Gary Moore horses if Caelan Quinn or Niall Houlihan are riding them. And David Bridgewater. Do you remember his really good horse, the Conditional?
Yeah.
And same colours of that. Dom of Mary right down the bottom. That's one on my list to watch. I want to go and have a look at that one in the paddock because I've got a feeling that might rapidly climb up the handicap.
Caelan Quinn, actually, I think it's going to make up into a decent jockey because...
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Like a love-hate relationship because, like, he was with Warren Greatrex, but he got the £10. And so you watched him and you thought, well, he's better than £10. But then it was Warren Greatrex. You sort of lured in, and it's like, oh, next time.
Who won the Topham?
Well, he did, I know, but he's done that with a Stayers Hurdle. He pops up.
Yeah.
He pops up now and again.
Pops up every now
but
and then.
You
know,
like consistency of his runners. They all run half a season like they've got AIDS. The 255, we move on to the Shloer.
The Shloer.
This is when most hoity-toity start slurring, like Ender after his gins.
Oh, yeah, Popeye.
Yeah. The funny thing is, Shloer is designed not to make you slur, isn't it?
Yeah. It is a mixer, though, as well, isn't it? You can mix it.
Yeah.
Well, so it's everything.
You'll be fucked by this.
John Bonnie's ridiculously short at 1 to 2. I do think it's the right 5, but I just can't believe the wall's ISIS.
Yeah. Do you know what? I hadn't managed to get a really good look at John Bon until last March when he was in the paddock for the Harcourt. Oh God, he's absolutely beautiful. He looks like a really expensive rocking horse, and but he does.
For the rich kids.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah, definitely. Wouldn't like I went to a comprehensive. There wouldn't have been any of that in my school. There, like it would have been like private school job. You know what I'm saying? But
you were still with clothes off, didn't it?
That, John. Oh no, I won't go on about my school. I'll tell you that story another time. But where I don't think John Bon is soft, but I don't think he likes to be challenged. I don't know about him over fences at Cheltenham. I think he was a little bit sticky in the Arkle. I just don't like. Yeah, he's the right fav, but I just don't know. Whereas you've got Edwardson that loves the place at 3 to 1. I'd probably have a bet on Edwardson actually.
Do you think Eddie's a good De Geet is a big price at 14.
Oh yeah, but do you remember last year when they did that really weird thing of dropping him out and then he pissed in the next time?
Oh, they're absolute
and it
bastards.
was really dodgy.
Yeah, they're absolute
Yeah.
bastards with that. Yeah.
So I would back him because he's got Niall Houlihan on board, but just remember that was really fucking dodgy. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I'd love to see John Bond win it, but I just wonder about him. I don't know. There's still a bit of a question mark for me there.
Yeah, it's a gin and pate race, John, and let the dog in.
Absolutely.
This is the one where you let him in and you spread the pate.
Liberally.
Hendo will be sloshed by.
He'll have had his 14th Hendrix,
Yeah.
and he'll be telling Lydia that it's good to soft, not heavy.
I tell you now, it was
telling Lydia he's always loved her.
Beautiful ground, Lydia. Beautiful ground.
I've told you before about the bloody ground, and it's absolutely fine.
I've always loved you, Lydia.
Have I ever told you about when I saw him in the what's the hotel? The Ellenborough Park on Cleve Hill, the one that's got its own entrance to the racecourse. Have I ever told you about when I was there having a meal on New Year's Eve and he was in the bar and he fell on his arse? Now I'm talking right. This was about fucking 4:30 because I was out early because obviously I think that Daisy was really young. Daisy must have been about 2 or 3 because I know I needed to get back because I didn't have a babysitter for obviously New Year's Eve, so I went out early with my friend for something to eat, and I was like, "Fucking hell, Hendo's in the bar and he's absolutely bollocks already. He must have like come on from Warwick or something." And then literally he proceeded to fall on his ass about 3 times in the bar, and I swear to God, like. I was like, I mean, I was home by 6 o'clock. That's how fucking early it was.
Jesus, I can believe it. Yeah, old Endo on his arse, loving that. Yeah,
Who has them children small souls, doesn't he? No wonder he slipped.
Yeah, as in our title tune, poor Lydia. She came out looking good there with Endo saying it was heavy.
Oh yeah, because he came out of it looking like a right C-bomb.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going with the family-friendly version.
Yeah.
And Lydia asked the question, and you could see he knew what she was going to ask, and he was really arsey about it.
He came across very bad, and that's Endo to a T. So we've gone to the 3:30, the finale, which is the Greatwood Dan Gilbert race, where he knackers fat lads out walking to the course. Never mind about that. John Joe O'Neill, any harm in asking 16-1 Fry? It's big, innit?
It is big, but I swear to God, that horse is going to give me. I need to go to a psychologist because of that horse.
Yeah, hangs left.
Like, I backed him for at Fossless.
Yeah.
For the Welsh champion. I mean, the way he travelled into that, and then he just chucks it, doesn't he, at the end?
Goes left. I remember you sort of tipping him when obviously we both thought the same, that this horse was just a brilliant horse. Yeah. But then they sent him right-handed twice, which shows you how thick they are. And then they turned up at Cheltenham. Right. The thing is, you shouldn't look at Cheltenham too much because it was 113% on the old sectionals, which meant they absolutely crawled round. So John's got him in the wrong position. Foss Lass, he'd literally got the beating an Emmy and Lion. He just decided, I'm going left-handed, see ya.
Yeah.
So that's the issue, because the problem is you jump the Lass at Cheltenham, and if you do that, you're going to lose a lot of ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're just going to veer over to the chase side of the course. It off-putting, but I still can't get away from the 16s.
No, I can't get away from the 16s. The one, it's like a beacon. But that said, the Paul Byrne horse.
Yeah.
Runs out at Cork for the previous trainer. I think that was the first run in the ownership of Paul Byrne, I think, and then goes to Willie's, obviously full of the old unleaded.
Yeah, it's going to be, isn't it?
And 10-3, like.
I know, but it has looked a bit of a shit house.
It has looked a bit of a shit house, but then you remember when they won this with the with the shunter?
Yeah.
For Dirty Emmett.
Mm. Yeah.
And then, do you remember another one in here as well? I see Nico's on board, so I wouldn't be too delighted. But do you remember when Iberico Lord, he was like that hilarious when he was second at Sandown at the end of last season? It was absolutely hilarious because he should have won.
Oh yeah, it should have won a minute.
Yeah, and so obviously they had this in mind as well. So, and then there is look away in this as well. For Neil, I've got one winner king, but I don't know is the answer to this at the moment, Lee. I love any harm in asking, but I swear to God, he's going to put me in an early grave. When I'd quite a me, Lee. I wouldn't really be sort of backing in big money. Okay, but for me, I'd had quite a nice bet on him in the Welsh Champion hurdle, and the pound signs were there. It was like one of those old cartoons, pound signs dinging in the eyes when he came there, put in like a train, and then I was actually speechless. Like,
and to put into context, if any listeners watch the replay, you will see that Eddie Harmon Askin is probably a length clear on the running at some point, and ends up getting beat a length and a half.
My neighbours must be so sick of me by this stage because all they literally must have heard this. Go on, George. Go on, George. Go on, George, and then just beep.
yeah.
Right. But then the fucking supermarket delivery turned up literally a minute after they crossed the line. He knocks on the door, and I'm there, literally green face, corpse face, and he's like, "Hello, lovely afternoon, isn't it?" And I was like that.
Yeah. In retrospect, then, would you slyly put a spur on John Joe's left boot?
You can maybe do something like that, or you can just forget about that and go with only a matter of time. Massive trainer upgrade, massive jockey upgrade, and has only looked a shit house because he's took the piss out of the kids that have been riding it.
That is a fair point, actually.
No, it's very true, John.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. I mean,
we all backed the shunter, didn't we? Do you remember?
Yeah.
And it was a thing of beauty, wasn't
it? It was. The thing is, that, like, and Cathryn, you can see only a matter of time going off 6-4. They know they've got shedfuls. This will go off 6-4, and anything else will be just like any price. Because they'll just know we're.
They're asking for you stuff,
yeah. If it goes off 9-2, they're not. It's not. Yeah. It's if it goes off 6. In fact, if it goes off 6-4, just have more on, because what it means is
it is a bit of value betting advice from the bar stewards. Shorten the price you get and have more on.
Literally one of them. And we aren't being told directly off Paul Byrne or Willie Mullins. This is the one where you could see this going off 6-4 if they know they've got 2 started out. Yeah, exactly that.
Which they could well have.
Yeah.
No one's like it, but
in the spirit of this week, let's talk about safer gambling.
Yeah.
If it goes 6-4, borrow $4,000.
Borrow it. Take loans out. Yeah. Absolutely.
Borrow it. If it gets paid, just shaft them for it.
Credit card transactions into PayPal to friends and family. Yeah. Stick that in that account for me and stick it all on. Thanks.
That's how we do
in anticipation. That's how it's done. We're going to end it right there.
Get the advice others shy away from, don't you?
Yeah, it's been a fabulous show, and I've really enjoyed this because obviously this is the original gang that formed the Bar Stewards and kept us all out of the mental dungeon throughout lockdowns, etc. So wonderful to have Cathryn back, and I hope she comes on for further shows this winter when she likes the cards. Jonas, as always, it's been a pleasure. So that's all from me, John, Cathryn. We're back on Sunday talking more shite. Bye for now.